Hello, everybody. Can you guys all hear me okay? Hello, hello, hello. Just lower this down a little bit. It's a little bit loud. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just bear with me just a second. Hi. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're going. Hello. Welcome over to the stream. Sorry, I had a quick glitchy moment. And had to just fix something. But we're all good. And we're going. Okay. Cools. Just bear with me just a moment to just sort myself out. But hello, everyone. I set all this up last night, so hopefully it should work. Just give me a second and we'll find out together. Are you ready? We'll see if it's working together. I think I messed the stinger up, so I'll have to try that again later. But let's have a go, shall we? Let's go. Blue. Oh, it's working. Yay. Hello, everyone. Welcome in to the stream. I'm just going to pop the chat out so I can see what I'm doing. 1 second. Pop out chat. There we go. Hi, guys. Hi. Welcome to the It Gets Better channel. I am so excited. Welcome to my It Gets Better 2024 streams, you guys. Oh my gosh, can you believe that we did like a whole year last year and it's already 2024? Time has really flown by. Little Clem sleeping on the bed over there, look. Beautiful. So today, guys, we're going to be talking a little bit about the importance of inclusion in video games and particularly in pop culture in general, especially diversity and representation and why it's important. But a little bit of a twist. Normally, when I do It Gets Better stuff, I normally just sit and chat to you guys for 2 hours. But I thought I'd mix it up this year for 2024. And we're actually going to play games at the same time. I need to fix the captions, don't I? Because they are kind of getting a little bit tall. Get a little bit tall over there. So let me try halving that size, see if that helps. And just plonk it back there. That might work a little better. We'll see. Okay. To be fair, guys, the captions will not get my accent very well anyway, so good luck to them. But hopefully it helps a little bit. Okay, so, Alma, why can't you don't redeem anything? Well, this isn't my channel, so the points aren't the same as my personal channel. Channel points are individual to each Twitch channel that you're watching. Okay, so, we are going to talk, like I said, a little bit about the importance of inclusion in video games, in pop culture in general as well, and talk a little bit about why representation is important, things like that. In addition, you guys can share, as I always say, you guys can share some of your stories with me too if you want to. You can also ask for some advice. But remember, I am not a medical professional, so my advice will be based purely on my own experiences as a trans person myself, and I will do my best to offer whatever advice I can. But obviously, if you need, like, you know, important or serious help, you should always speak to a trusted adult or a medical professional. So yeah, you can start sharing stories or asking questions while I set my game up, and then we'll have a little chat and we'll see how things go and we'll just have a nice time. I'm actually really happy to be back again. I'm really, really thrilled that they decided to let me come back and stream for you guys again. I'm really happy that they liked this, that It Gets Better like the streams I did last year and stuff too. So I'm really looking forward to being here and getting to share with you guys more stories, chat with you all, answer questions, and just have a nice time together. I'm really excited. Okay. Cools. So, we'll start off before I open my game. I'll read a couple of your messages. Are there any ways I can deal with gender dysphoria? I'm a trans boy and it honestly ruins my day. Sometimes I really need advice. Honestly, There are lots of ways that people can deal with gender dysphoria. Obviously, it's going to depend on you as a person. So obviously, everybody is different. Your gender dysphoria or the things that make you specifically dysphoric might come from different areas or different specific things, depending on who you are or how you feel. So for example, for me, a huge part of like my dysphoria was regarding things like my voice, for example, or things like the certain shapes of my body, hair, for example, on my face, things like that, where the most common things that caused me to have dysphoria. Obviously, those things are things you can work on. When it comes to hair and stuff, obviously you can shave, which is the easiest way. Or if you are wanting a permanent result, obviously then you later can have medical things like electrolysis or laser, for example. With voice stuff, you can have professional coaching, or you can even start doing some simple stuff online with YouTube. You can sort of just like work through it in your own time and see how it goes for you, and progress to find your voice and find yourself. For trans men, obviously I'm not a trans male, so I don't obviously necessarily know all the things that you can do, but some of the things I know that some trans men that I know personally do is I know that some of them use, for example, chest binders. You should always make sure though that you are following the proper protocols for wearing one, such as how long you're supposed to wear one per day. The size needs to be correct to make sure that you are safe, things like that. You got to make sure that it's safe for you to wear, make sure you're not wearing it for too long, things like that. Just making sure that you are following the right protocols for that. In addition to that, you can also practice things like you can have a little bit of a kind of a thing that I did, especially that I think housed my dysphoria, which was to play around with my name a little bit, figure out what I wanted to be called, finding people who will use the correct pronouns for me, especially if you're not ready to come out to everyone yet. One of the good ways to work with your dysphoria is that I asked my friends online at the time to adjust my pronouns and stuff before I asked everybody else in my life, because I was a little bit scared to ask everyone in my life to do that at the time. So I think that sometimes maybe asking like your online friends and stuff is a good first port of call, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a good way that you can help to handle with like dysphoria. I would definitely suggest that you do some research about the things that you're specifically experiencing yourself, like the things that you're finding negative personally, and just sort of see if you can find ways to, overcome those things. There are lots of like non-surgery, non-medical things like that you can do. Sorry, someone's asking in my chat, where do we go? I'm just sending them the link to the new stream. So yeah, there are various little things that you can do, but I think one of the most affirming things is asking people to affirm you, asking people to use your correct pronouns, asking people to call you the name you want to be called, things like that. It's nice when you get to be around people who actually understand who you are, listen to you, and understand how you feel, and you can be yourself around. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that's a good first port of call. So I'm just opening my Overwatch at the same time. Overwatch, by the way, is a game that's got a pretty good example for like inclusion, because we can talk a little bit about how Overwatch as a whole essentially has more characters that are varied in it. So if you just give me 1 second, just to quickly read this, and I'll read some more of your guys' stuff in just a second. 1 sec. Try this. Done. If I lag a tiny bit, just bear with me while I'm opening my game. It always makes my stream lag just a teeny bit, but it won't last very long. So just bear with me. If it lags on stream for a sec, it will only be for a sec. Let me have a look at what some of your other questions are, so I can start sort of gauging an idea of what you guys want me to talk about. We'll sort of keep talking for the first sort of half an hour or so, and then we will move on to chatting about inclusion and stuff like that. So just bear with me a second. How can I be able to be in the same room as a racist and a homophobic boy? Okay, so I'm assuming you mean, like, specifically, I'm assuming this is in regards to, like school settings, or there's places we can't avoid where you have to be around people that are not very kind, is essentially what you're asking, I'm guessing, with this one. Would I be correct in assuming that's what you mean by that? Obviously, when it comes to life, we have to be around people we don't like sometimes. It's sort of one of those things that we just kind of, we have to do, because there are always going to be people in the world that are unkind and not nice, and it stinks, and it's absolutely not fair, and it absolutely does ruin a lot of people's vibes. I 100% understand that. But unfortunately, in life, we do have to be surrounded by people we don't like sometimes, or that have different opinions to us sometimes. Bear with me, my game is really loud, sorry. Let me just lower that down a bit. Like, sometimes we do just have to be around people who aren't necessarily very nice people. People we maybe probably don't align our values with. Maybe their values and our values don't align. But unfortunately, there isn't really much that we can do when it comes to other people having their opinions, because they're always going to. The best thing that you can do is learn how to be around those types of people and ignore them. Ultimately, the best thing I think you can do is to remember that you know your values, you know who you are as a person, you know that you don't agree with those people's views, but remember that you're being progressive, you're being kind, you're choosing kindness, you're choosing to be accepting, inclusive, representative, whatever those things are that you're choosing to do. And remind yourself that that makes you a good person and a kind person, and that is what's most important. We don't ever want to make ourselves or put ourselves in a position where we're stooping down to their level. So we don't want to like insult them, we don't want to say nasty things about them, because then we're just stooping down to the level of nastiness and unkindness that they're choosing to express themselves. So it's much better for you to hold your head high, knowing that you're a kind person who is moving on through life, choosing kindness, choosing positivity, and that those people are ultimately, all they're going to ever feel is that negative burning feeling inside them of just being nasty. And I would much rather be the person who chooses kindness over the person who chooses nastiness any day. Personally, I do think that the best thing for you to do is just try to ignore them, because we do have to coexist with people we don't agree with, and sadly that is just the way the world works. Even though we might not agree with what they think or what they say, we don't really have a choice but to just deal with it, you know? So I am going to continue answering your questions and stuff whilst we play some Overwatch, so that we've got something to visually do at the same time. But let me read the next one so I know what I'm answering. I think it's something more people need to talk about. What is that you wanted to talk about? Sorry, let me see. Oh, inclusion. Oh, good. Yeah, we're going to move on to that shortly. Leah, today we're playing Overwatch. We're going to play different games each time we do the streams, so don't worry, there's going to be different things. Let me see what the next person... Who's behind you? It is Patrick. Yeah, Webby's behind me. But I have a question. I'm a lesbian here whose parents don't know yet. Do you have any advice for coming out? Okay, I sort of always give the same sort of advice when it comes to coming out, because I think that it's a really complicated thing and it's a very individualist experience, and nobody can really necessarily specifically tell you how you should do it, because it is very individual. It's a very specific thing just to you. And only you can know if you're ready to do it. Does that make sense? Like, only you can know if you are ready to come out. It's kind of a thing that you figure out by yourself. If you know and feel that you are ready to come out, then I always say there's a few steps you have to consider. Those few steps are, first of all, do you feel you are safe? You don't want to come out in an environment that it may potentially put you in an unsafe position or make you unsafe. We never ever want you to be unsafe. So if you think at any point it could make you unsafe to come out, for example, if your parents may potentially, you know, if it might put you in a difficult position with them, if you could become potentially homeless because of it, any kind of issues like that, you have to really consider if it could make you unsafe. Obviously, you know your family. I don't know your family. I don't know where you live. I don't know your experience. But for some people, if there's a chance that it could make you unsafe, the best thing to do sometimes is to wait a little bit longer until you have a bit more independence and you're old enough to be independent, so that you don't have to rely on those people who could potentially make you unsafe, if that makes sense. You never, ever, ever want to put yourself in a bad position. What is your opinion on the portrayal of LGBTQ plus people in the media? I mean, obviously, it's very important that LGBTQ plus people are represented in media, in addition to the fact that it's important that we represent, you know, we represent other races too. For example, PSC or black people need to be representing these things as well. The lack of representation over the last sort of few decades is obviously very profound and something that is very difficult. I don't agree with people who say that like people just put like characters in for the sake of having them in there. Because we exist in the real world, A gay person, for example, doesn't necessarily have to have a purpose for the storyline other than the fact that the character is gay. Because just like in real life, people are just gay sometimes. People are trans sometimes. Just like people are white and black sometimes. Some people are Latin. Some people are, you know, whatever you are personally. Everybody is different. And I think that it's important to remember that there is sometimes negative representation, of course. People are not always good at representing. I always prefer that people who are actually the things themselves are the ones that are in charge of that representation to make sure it's accurate and useful. But I think that representation is really important. I think it's really important that we remember that growing up, we are always, like, for example, a good example of this is a lot of backlash that Disney received for choosing to have Ariel be played by a black actress in the live-action version of The Little Mermaid. But I think it's really important that they do that. The reason why I think it's important is because, for example, I grew up when I was younger. I would obviously feel underrepresented for my gender identity, but I never felt underrepresented for my race. I never once thought that as a white person I wouldn't be able to achieve anything, because I can see white people achieving things all the time, right? So obviously I know that white people can achieve stuff because I'm seeing that every single day. Whereas a young black person, for example, a young black girl, seeing Ariel being played by a black actress is going to show that that young girl that she can do that too one day. She can achieve those things too one day. She's seeing that representation. She's seeing the fact that who she is represented, which is really, really important. I think that sometimes people forget the reasons why these decisions are made. And even if, yes, sometimes companies might do this because they think that it's going to give them like points, I guess, or whatever. Either way, having those represented people in those things is really important, because I can't imagine what it's like to grow up. Like, I mean, I know from like a transgender point of view, but it must be really difficult to grow up never seeing yourself represented in anything. Like, I remember growing up and thinking there was something very wrong with me because I never knew anybody else who was trans. I never saw anybody else who was trans. So it was very nerve-wracking for me growing up because I was afraid that people were going to be unaccepting of me. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to achieve things because of it, and that's quite scary. It's quite scary to never see you never see yourself represented in those ways. So, you know, it's important to me that LGBTQ plus people are represented, because it's important that young people like me, well, like I was once, grow up in a world where they can see people like them achieving things and know that they can do that too. Does that make sense? What was that? Yeah, so talking about rushing to come out, people who are talking about like not being ready, it's totally okay to not be ready yet to come out. You don't have to rush yourself to come out. You have all the time in the world and as much time as you need to figure out who you are. You don't need to push yourself. It's completely your own experience. It's your own time. You know, take whatever time you need to figure it out and figure out who you are. Don't push yourself to have to figure it all out right now, and don't have to push yourself either to tell people if you're not ready to yet. That's your individual experience and for you to figure out in your own time. Hang on. Let me scroll a little bit real quick. I'm not gonna be very good in these games, I can imagine, because I am very interested in the things you guys are sending. So I'm just reading down the chat. I think the most important thing is that representation is always good. Well, representation is good often. But there is, I think it's also reasonable for us to recognize that there is bad representation too. There are, like, for example, representing certain, like, excuse me, sorry, I didn't want to die to that dragon. There are certain movies, for example, that have been made with trans representation in mind that I don't personally like very much, because I think that the representation where, say, for example, they represented things as, like, a severe mental illness, I don't like the way that, like, people represent things sometimes. That I do think that can be bad representation, especially for uneducated people to watch, because obviously that's not going to be good for us to see kind of things like that. Oh, that was a mistake. I thought he was going to be still asleep. My bad. There definitely is such thing as bad representation, I think. Let me scroll. You may, guys, you may have to resend some messages to me so that I can sort of see what you're saying because the chat's moving kind of fast. We're getting kind of crushed. Sometimes people attack me because I'm Muslim. I'm respecting people's lives and some people really change the way I look at LGBTQ plus people. Anyway, to change the view into a more positive one. The view of you? Well, I can say, Babinski, I've known you for a while. You've been in my streams for a while. I remember you in last year's It Gets Better streams that we did. And your views, you have taken the steps to educate yourself in so many ways, which is such a good thing. The fact that you have made the effort to educate yourself so that you know better, so that you are, you know, learning more about LGBTQ plus people, being more open to learning. If other people aren't being open to learning in the same way that you are about, like, for example, your Muslim faith, that's not your fault. You don't have to explain yourself to people. But I honestly understand that obviously it's very difficult if people are just making negative assumptions about you without really understanding any of what you're going through or what you experience or what you believe. Not everybody who is religious is negative towards LGBT people. There are lots of LGBTQ people who are religious themselves. So, you know, you obviously can try to educate if you do want to change someone's opinions or you want to try and educate someone. For example, when you came to me and asked me questions about LGBTQ plus people because you didn't understand, I was quite happy to explain. And I think the most important thing is trying to do that explaining, trying to educate people as best you can, but it is their choice to listen. And if they ignore you and don't care about that education and are, you know, being really negative anyways, that's not your fault. It's not your responsibility to try to convince other people to not be horrible people, basically. You know, it is perfectly acceptable for you to decide that you don't want someone in your life because they're being a horrible person. We are getting destroyed. This matchmaking is horrendous, by the way, but also I am also quite distracted. You're still young, B? When I say young, I meant like when I was a teenager. Cool. That was fun. I can never play this game for more than a couple of hours because I just get so infuriated so fast. And if you guys don't already know, there is a lot of representation in Overwatch characters, despite the matchmaking being horrendous. There are a few characters who are gay. I think there's a bisexual character as well. Why are you in there? Oh, you're dead. That was a really bad choice. This was a bad choice too. Oh no, I'm okay. Okay, we're good. Not sure that this is the play to be pushing over here, but as long as people die, I guess. Oh no, somebody got a little bit carried away over there, I think. I have problems figuring out my gender. I don't know what I feel comfortable as. Like, I'm okay being a girl, so I am as a boy. Because of this, I've been using they, them. Oh, she, they, him, sorry. I'm more comfortable with myself and still confused. You know, as I mentioned earlier to the person talking about the, like, sexual orientation, this isn't something... Oh my gosh. Oh god, I didn't die. This isn't something you necessarily have to figure out right now. You don't have to feel pressure to figure this all out immediately. Like, you can take your time to figure these things out, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you want to experiment a little bit with different pronouns and different names, different ways to represent yourself, different ways to dress, you know, take your time if you want to. Do what you need to until you figure out maybe what you feel more comfortable as. Or maybe you just feel more comfortable with a mix of things anyway. Perhaps, you know, like a more non-binary identity, and that's okay too. I think you should give yourself some time, because if you're still confused, that's perfectly okay. Just sort of, you know, don't force yourself to feel like you have to figure it all out right now, you know? than me. About The Little Mermaid, I do understand that it would feel more inclusive. I believe they could have come up with something original to represent the group of people rather than simply giving them something unoriginal but changed to fit their role. I find that a little bit confusing. We have people who are different sexual orientations or gender identities or races playing characters that wear different races all the time. For example, there are people who are white that play characters that in stories were originally black. People don't kick up quite as much fuss. I don't think it's about being unoriginal. I don't think that, I don't think there's any issue with having a black actress play a character that in the first movie was white. I don't think it really matters. I think that people getting mad over something like that is more of it's rooted in like racism that they've learned as they've grown up, because in reality, it's not really an issue. There isn't really any reason to be bothered by it, especially not if the original creators of that thing both encourage and aren't bothered by it. I don't think there's any reason for us to be annoyed on behalf of the original creator of that work, because it just kind of seems weird. It's kind of like if somebody said to me, why did you make a character in your roleplay black in season 2 but they were white in season 1? Because I want to. Why are you bothered? It's my creation, who cares? But, I do agree with what Bruz just said in the chat. I think it's a case of who did a great audition. I think that the actress who came in and got the role was probably an incredibly good singer, really good in her audition, really good at the character, and they were like, you know what? You could be Ariel. And so they performed well and got the role and did a fantastic job. I don't think it's a case of not giving them something original. There are original movies that are made for black characters, like The Princess and the Frog, for example. They do exist, but I don't see the issue that people have with people having characters that are a different race in a modern movie. I think that it's 2024, and if people take issue with that or find issue with that, I think it's probably because they have some underlying racist feelings that they don't recognize they have. Now, I'm not saying that they're a racist, like they're specifically a racist person, but it does kind of seem like society has sort of made them have sort of racist opinions without them maybe even realizing. Wow, this matchmaking is horrendous today. What is going on? I just keep being put up against people that are really, really better than me. I'm having a great day. I'm not going to self-proclaim to be really good at this game, but it would be nice if like I was against people who were like, similarly skilled to me. But that's Overwatch. If you read the forums, everyone's always complaining about the matchmaking. I'm just gonna stay back and just do a little, just focus on healing. Welp. I'll read in just a second, you guys. How do you feel about people with disabilities modelling? A lot of people made fun of them and said it's called a catwalk, not a cat drive, because they didn't have legs. I think that's an absolutely disgusting opinion for someone to have. Modelling is about representing something, like clothing, for example, for people to buy and wear. Disabled people also wear clothes, so disabled people should also be able to model those clothes. That seems very odd to me, that people would take issue with that. Well, this is going super well. I'm really having a great time. Where is the rest of my team? Fun, fun, fun. Original representation can coexist with more representation in non-original media. Exactly, because the thing is, it's not like Disney were like, we're going to delete the original Little Mermaid from existence and you can never watch it. You know, that's how people act there. They're like, how dare you change the original? No, you can still go and watch the original. It's still there. It still exists. You can still go watch it if you want. So if it bothers you that much, you could always go watch that one. Oh, Rob said that Soldier 76 is gay, Tracer and Farah both lesbian, Baptiste is bisexual, Lifeweaver is pansexual. So there you go, guys. Also, Rob, to answer your question, yes. I'll sort that out after this one. How do you feel about people? Oh, sorry, I read that one already. What just happened? Yes, so Overwatch does have quite a lot of representation. Another game that has quite a lot of representation is Apex Legends as well. Apex is also pretty good with representation in game. I'm really not enjoying myself right now. Bye. Oh, Jesus. Oh, gosh. Get away from me, Tracer. Hello. Yeah, well, so could I. If you guys do your jobs, I'll do mine. How about that? Oh, I woke her up. I can't keep these people alive. Well, I'm very dead. Well, this is going so well. I'm feeling really, really good. Cool. As an autistic person, it really annoys me when people get annoyed about my name. It's happened a few times. What are your opinions on it? Is it okay for me to be doing this? What, because your name's Autistic Angel? I mean, you have autism, so I don't see why not. I'm also not autistic, so I don't think it's my place to have an opinion. But also, as somebody, you are autistic, so surely you are allowed to make that choice to represent that if you want to. I don't see why people make an issue out of it. I think that's really strange, personally. You're literally not hurting anybody. Cool! This is going super well. Yeah, there's lots of games that support LGBTQ as people. A lot of the Apex Legends characters are quite diverse as well. So Apex Legends is another good game with quite a lot of diversity in it. Let me see. Thank you, Bonnie. That's very sweet of you to say. Sorry, my eyes are feeling a bit dry. It's good when people represent something in media, but there's a difference between good and realistic portrayal and completely biased and untrue representation. Absolutely. There is 100% people out there who want to represent in a negative way on purpose too. You got to remember that. Sometimes people have like an agenda to do something negative or create negative representation for people, which is really unkind, but it does happen. It's just a shame that it does. But I think that having that representation in general, making sure that we are showcasing different types of people is really important. Especially on things like TV as well, and as well as games, you know, things that are mass produced, things that lots of people can see and people watch. Because I think it's a good way to help people to see that there's nothing wrong with people. Because, and as well, another thing, lots of kids growing up, people who don't want their kids to be exposed to like LGBTQ people, doesn't really make any sense, because they are exposed to them in the real world all the time, because some people are gay, and some people are bisexual, and some people are trans, and some people are non-binary, and some people are pansexual, and so on and so on. Like, it's not like you can pretend that there aren't people in the world who are those things. So it seems odd to me to not allow people to... I think people should be able to grow up and learn that those people already exist, to make sure that they are ready for the diverse world that exists around them. Hi, Jax.com, how are you? Which Overwatch character do you dislike playstyle-wise? Doomfist. Even Valorant has Killjoy and Raze as an LGBTQ plus couple. Well, good, because LGBTQ plus people exist in real life, so they would exist in these worlds too, because they are humans that exist. It makes sense to include them in things because we all exist and are real people and would exist in these worlds as well.
I'm not giving up on you, Reyes.
I wish you would.
Greetings. Hello. 5, 4, 3.
I hate the fact that children won't learn because the parents don't agree with it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, there are things obviously that we protect our children from when they're growing up. I don't think that not allowing them to know that different identities exist makes much sense, personally. No, the Doomfist was still alive. I didn't realize. Also, straight relationships are represented to kids all the time. So it doesn't make sense to me to specifically only not show them, like, LGBTQ plus people. Doesn't even necessarily have to be relationships, just showing them people.
Good to see you.
Initiating defense matrix.
What's happening?
Hello. It's about to get real. No. Efficient design at work. Group up here.
Nerf this.
Oh, I meant to drop it down, but it landed on the bridge, I think. I think it only killed one of them. To be fair, don't play Doomfist. I think we might not have this problem.
You're falling. I'm ready to overclock.
The idea of shooting children from the real world is strange to me. I mean, there's obviously certain things that we do. There's certain things that we obviously don't, that kids shouldn't be exposed to. But the reality of people existing just doesn't seem to make much sense to me personally. Well, I think my teammates got a little bit carried away there. Oh no. Oh, this guy's real mad that I killed him as Doomfist. Lol. Can I still have piercings if I'm in the neurodivergent community? Why wouldn't you be allowed piercings if you're neurodivergent? I might be missing something because I might be uneducated on this topic, so please feel free to explain to me why. Because that might be a case of me just being a little bit naive. Oh no! I could have crushed her! No! I'm so upset I died too fast.
They're counting on me.
Well, Lil Llama, I think the point is that they want to not tell them about them to try to avoid their child being one, which doesn't make any sense because that's not how it works. But people who believe those type of things believe that that is how it works, which is obviously madness. Well, I'm about to lose my mech. You know, if I'm gonna stay alive, I'm gonna need healing. Where's... We have a Mercy! She's done less healing than our Brigitte. We're doing generally better, but we keep having like issues that happen where we just mess up, I think. I think a couple of my teammates, like the DPSs, are getting a little bit carried away and then running in and getting themselves killed. And that's why they keep getting the better of us. There's not much point in defending in front of them thing, because they'll just shoot you through it. Well, that was very silly, wasn't it? This is what I mean about being carried away. Yep, well, this is what keeps happening. They keep jumping right in forward and getting killed. Cool. I don't even really understand how I lost my mech so fast there, but whatever. Let me see. Well, Dragons and Meg, why? Who took you there? You can see, I can tell you now, you can see terrible things in public because some people are terrible people. But what you're talking about when you say like revealing things, I think that this is an example of when people say like, oh, LGBTQ people go to pride parades and wear really revealing stuff. But I don't mind when they're on the beach wearing a bikini. That's fine. Like, if it's a bikini on the beach, that's totally okay, even though they're showing just as much skin. But because this is a pride parade, I'm not okay with it. AKA because I want to create issues for LGBT people. Most of these things can be responded to. And it often comes down to people just simply wanting to find ways to blame LGBTQ plus people for stuff that doesn't either exist or doesn't even matter. I think that publicly saying that LGBTQ plus people take their clothes off in front of people is an extremely serious, narrow-minded, and odd thing to say. Because that is helping towards people's negative representation of LGBTQ plus people and making them sound like inappropriate people. You can be inappropriate. You can be an inappropriate person regardless of your gender identity or sexual orientation. Some people aren't good people regardless. But I think that you have to remember that just because your standards and expectations, Babinski, of what you're saying right now is how you feel from the country and religion you're from, doesn't mean that everybody else feels that way too. To say that somebody wearing something that was exactly the same as what a woman would wear on a beach, for example, is inappropriate at a pride parade is, I think, just a simple way of people trying to be anti-LGBTQ+. And I think it's helping to assist people in creating negative opinions of LGBT people to say things like that. Bad people do bad things regardless of their gender or sexual orientation. There are bad people in the world regardless. Oh, this is really bad. Yeah, my team kept killing them and getting team kills over and over, but I just feel like my DPS just kept getting so cocky and then running on the run and getting themselves killed, and that's the only reason we lost that game. I think they just kept getting way too cocky. And also, yeah, it is a pride parade. People know the type of things people want to wear at pride parades and the way that they like to represent themselves because they're, you know, sharing their pride. You're choosing to go to it just like you would choose to go to a beach. Hi, Todsy, how you doing? I just realized I completely forgot to pull the winner of that Robux giveaway. Need to do that. Huh. Yeah, also, yeah, exactly. Like, is it Akata? Is that how you say your name? I'm sorry I said it wrong. But yeah, like you just said, music videos, TV, clothing events, fashion events. That the world's like opinion on what is acceptable and not acceptable in terms of fashion and stuff have changed drastically over the years. To specifically, if you have take issue with it, then obviously take issue with it and say so in all the aspects of where that issue appears. If you're specifically only picking apart LGBTQ plus pride parades and saying, oh, what they wear is inappropriate, but it's fine if you wear it on a beach, and it's fine if you wear it on a fashion show, and it's fine if you wear it in a music video, it's just not fine in a pride parade. I think it's pretty obvious what you're saying there. You only have an issue with it when an LGBTQ plus person does it. You know what I mean? You've got to sort of, it's kind of hard sometimes because we all as humans don't realize that some of the things we've been taught as we've grown up from society, from the media, from maybe our parents, some of the things that we've been taught sometimes are not constructive things to think or feel. And sometimes we have to be capable of looking at ourselves and recognizing when we're believing something that in reality probably isn't accurate or true or productive or helpful. Sometimes we have to be able to look at ourselves and go, actually, this is not a productive thing that I'm thinking or that I've learned and is largely untrue and used as a method just to belittle other people or to promote being derogatory towards other people. The reality is, those like teachings are unhelpful, but to say things like, I'm fine with LGBT people, I just don't like pride parades because they take their clothes off in front of people, is ridiculous. Because first of all, in most countries it's illegal to take your clothes off in public, like if you're talking about people being fully nude here, so it doesn't matter if the person's gay or not, that's just doing something that's not allowed because it's illegal, regardless of the gender identity or sexual orientation. People who aren't LGBTQ plus still do bad things like that. So to say that like it's an LGBTQ plus issue is odd because people who aren't LGBTQ plus do that as well. It's called indecent exposure in most places and it's illegal regardless. So my point is anyway, to say it as if it's just like to word it as if it's just a unique issue to LGBTQ plus people is massively unhelpful to LGBTQ plus people because it just furthers people's negative opinions, especially people who are uneducated and don't realize that that opinion is harmful. Oh, turret. I think Heartstopper is a great example of movies and my favorite movies and TV shows. Yeah, Heartstopper is great for representation, and it's also very appropriate, so you can watch it regardless of your age. There is a show on Netflix that I think is really good for representation too, called Sex Education, but obviously that show is absolutely not for young people. That is a show for adults, or at least like people over the age of 16. But I do think that has really good representation. There's lots of LGBTQ plus people in that show. That's exactly the shit I was about to say. I was debating if I wanted to say it or not because I know that a lot of my audience that came over from my raid are young, but I'm just making it very clear that if you are young, you shouldn't be watching it. But it is very good if you are, like, at least, I think it's, I don't know what the rating is if someone wants to check, but I think it's probably like 16 plus. It might be 18, actually. Ah, stupid Sombra. Doctor Who is the most recent like series, has a lot more representation, and the last 3 specials that they just did for the 60th anniversary has got a lot of representation in it. I will say that in my opinion, I feel that some of it felt a little forced at times, but it's still good. Like, the representation is good and accurate. Wow, I'm just getting absolutely shredded now all of a sudden. We were doing fine, now we're just getting wrecked. Anyways, yeah, I think it's good representation and it's accurate, but it does in places feel a little bit forced, but it's still good. So I would recommend that too. No, that's fine, Babinski. That's exactly why I try to respond in an educational way. I don't think you mean harm, but I think it's important that people recognize that sometimes our underlying opinions can cause harm, but that was meaning them to. Where is the Sombra? Ah! Sombra is severely annoying. I just thought I probably could have eaten her ult, right? Can I eat it? Can I eat Iani's ult? If anybody knows. I can. Okay. Oh my gosh. I am so sick of this Sombra! Okay. You like Drag Race? Your favorite show to watch? Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of Drag Race UK, not seen very many of the Drag Race US. Bye. The Sombra is very much still behind us somewhere. Ah, sad. Well, Sonny, if you're banned, there was probably something you did that got you banned.
I tire of these games.
The aim on that top. I know, right? There's a fan art chat, Lola, that you can put it in. You watched Queer Eye, which is quite funny. I've heard people talk about Queer Eye. I don't know what it is personally. I've never seen it. But I have heard people talk about it. Oh no. Oh, I'm still on the molten core. I'm dead. This is fun. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, that's another show that has representation. I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine too. If you all play story games, I recommend The Last of Us Part 1, Left Behind, and Part 2 because the representation is very good. Yeah, The Last of Us is good. Obviously, if you don't like, you know, zombie things, do bear that in mind. Oh my gosh. Every time I manage to start getting the better of them, I turn around and realize that my team's dead. RIP. I have lost every single game on this stream. Anybody who's not from my channel is gonna think I am horrendously bad at this game because the matchmaking today has just been all bad. I don't know if the issue is the people I'm against or the vendors that I keep being teamed with.
Apagando las luces.
Sonny, we don't ban people from my stream chat for no reason. The Last of Us, you come on hyperfixation. I love the game. I would love... I'm looking forward to season 2 of the show. But the game is very, very good. Also, The Walking Dead also has... Oh. The Walking Dead also has some good representation. Sonny, I apologize to you. My mods just messaged me to tell me that it was an accident. I apologize. That never happens, just to be clear, which is why I said that normally people aren't banned for no reason. But I apologize. They just messaged me to tell me it was an accident. I'm very sorry. But that does normally never happen. So that's why I was like, you would have been banned for no reason. But we're sorry. We fixed it. You're not banned anymore. And thanks, Connor, by the way. Yeah, so honestly, I'd love to hear from you guys then. What are your favourite media? What is your favourite thing in the media to consume that is representative of different gender identities, sexualities, races, whatever it might be, whatever you really, really like. Whether that's a game, a TV show, a movie, I'd love to hear. Lone Star 911 is a show about firefighters and cops that has an amazing gay couple as main characters in Texas. Oh, wow. Yeah, The Walking Dead allows you to sort of decide for the characters the path that they go down. Every game that allows me to decide the orientation of any character, obviously they always end up gay, so... I don't even mean to sometimes, it just sort of happens. Like, I was playing Life is Strange, the first game, and apparently it's not super hard to do, but it's also not the usual outcome people expect. But my characters ended up being in love. My main characters, Max and Chloe, ended up being in love at the end. I didn't purposely do anything to make that happen, but apparently the choices that I made, it just did that. because of the choices I made, which I'm gonna say means that I play games in a very gay way, which I am happy about, and I live life in the same way that I play games. I hate tracers. I can never aim at a tracer. Haha. Bye bye. Take it back. Ah.
You're powered up. Get in there.
I can't see you to heal you. Oh god. Genji's gonna kill me. Yep. Cool. You like to read LGBTQ plus books? Yeah, to be honest, I don't know why, but I never just think books. Like, whenever somebody's like, oh, you know, popular culture, media, consumption or whatever, for whatever reason, I'm never like, oh, I wonder what books we could read. I don't know why, but it just never clicks in my head. Because I don't read very often. I should probably read more. Oh. Ah. Jeez. I hate tracers! Ugh, every time I try to sleep her, she's bubbled. Are you always bubbled? Oh, thank God. Bye. You snipe like a robot, you're insane. I don't think that's true. There are people who are way better at us than me. I'm trying to learn her, I've only just kind of started.
Moving along now.
No, Ryan, what are you doing? I can't hear you around there.
Just a little more.
Nano boost is ready. Get in there, and I'll hit you. Keep fighting. I am unbreakable.
Can't see you, Ryan. And this is why we keep dying. My teammates keep getting way too cocky. Cool. So now it's just me and Rob, the two supports. Awesome. Love that for me. Cool. Literally every single game, guys. We keep getting really cocky players who just run in on their own and then die. I haven't watched that many LGBTQ plus representative shows. Most of the ones I watched all got cancelled. Oh! Do you know what I love? It's got kind of a strange storyline in places, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Fosters, but it's about two lesbian women who are married and they have one biological child. One of the women does from a previous marriage. And then they adopt a bunch of kids as well. They've got like 4 adopted kids, which I think is really nice. I'm literally gonna explode if my team doesn't group up. They did cancel the Fosters there, so. James, do you want to pick someone to win the Robux giveaway? Because I honestly got so distracted. Somebody's here. Ah! I'm losing my mind!
One of these days I'll end up in Fiji.
Yeah, I haven't seen Good Trouble, boys. I haven't watched it. I'm not usually somebody who sees like a show end and then watches a spin-off. It's not normally my thing. Because I often don't like the spin-offs and I feel sad. This is not going well. Behind us, behind us. Yeah, I think when it comes to like figuring out your sexuality, it's kind of one of those things. You just have to sort of take your time. There is literally no pressure. You don't have to push yourself to figure it out right now. You know, the same thing with like any kind of identity. Just take your time and allow yourself the time you need to sort of process. Get out of my face, Genji! Oh, I'm losing it, guys. I feel like I can't do my job because my DPSs aren't doing theirs. Or at least they're doing their jobs too well and then getting themselves killed. Magic Flower, congrats. What? This Genji is obsessed with me. Bye, Patch. Have a lovely night. Thanks for coming. They're going to take it and we're actually ahead right now. 38 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, 30 seconds. Your engines. I see you.
Can't see you.
Let vengeance consume you.
Don't let the Rhine die. Oh, I can't see him now to heal him.
Time is short. Hold strong. You're powered up. Get in there.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that at that point. I'm sorry. I thought there was more. I slapped the Tracer into the Ryan's push, into the Ryan's thing. That's the first game I've won all night. Maybe I should just keep playing Anna. That's the key, guys. Jeez. You might struggle to answer. I have a question. Is there a way I can cope with losing my mom? She's still alive, but for my mental health, I've got contact with him. I think, yeah, I mean, so with being LGBTQ+, sometimes, obviously, there are people who are not helpful to have in our lives, and we decide that we would be better off not having them in our lives. And that makes sense for some people. It's not easy. But the best thing that you can do is to continue to remind yourself the reasons why you did, and that you're good, that, you know, it's going to be good for you to be around people who are supportive of you. The most important thing is to remind yourself the reasons you made that decision, I think. The reasons why you felt it was necessary to do that. I think that will help you to process better and remind yourself that the choice you made was a good one. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
I'm scared to tell people I'm gay because it feels wrong going back and saying I wasn't. Not only this, but I feel like they already know, which makes me feel like I don't need to. Well, first of all, French fries, if you don't want to tell anyone, you don't have to. If you feel like you don't need to, you don't have to. You don't have to tell anybody. It's completely up to you to make that decision. But I think most LGBT people, or LGBTQ people, grew up telling people they went. Like, if people were saying things like, you know, rude people at school or whatever, or family, you know, asking you when you aren't ready to tell people yet, I think it's quite normal to then tell them you aren't. So I don't think there's anything wrong with going back on, like as you said, going back on it, because, you know, you've figured out who you are now. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean you had to know before, but you know now. You know? Does that make sense? There's nothing wrong with you changing or adjusting those labels that you want to use for yourself and sharing that with people. Assuming you want to share it with people. What is this Orisa doing? Better yet, why is she doing it? I missed completely with that. Hands up! Go away. Oh, I landed on the trap! I was like, what just happened? I jumped off the balcony and landed on the trap. You've got to be kidding me. Did you guys see that? I was like, I slept the diva. I'm so cool. I'm going to run off and heal myself now. And then as I did, I threw my nade down to heal myself, but landed on the trap and insta-died. That's what I get for being cocky, I guess. Yeah, die, Lucia. Sleep. Oh, Jeebus Christmas. Oh, this one is going real well. They helped me on a while ago on a stream and they said watch a load of vids on YouTube about the difference between bi and lesbian. I also said the fact that it can change. I don't need to commit to a certain identity. I've talked about this so much, but there's actually a name for this, but I forget all the time. But I know that I'm attracted to men. I always am. That doesn't change. But I definitely go through phases of feeling attracted to women. I'm never always attracted to women. It's kind of fluid for me. Like, sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. Does that make sense? There is a name for it, but, like, it's perfectly acceptable for your sexuality or your identity to be fluid. Human beings are far more complex than people give credit to them. Like, everybody just wants everybody to fit into these boxes all the time. But human beings don't fit into boxes. We are complex. We are different. We're not all the same. It's impossible for us to feel the same and be the same every day. Just like the same way that we wake up some days and we want to eat toast, and the next day we can't think of anything worse than eating toast. Like, human beings are so much more complex than people like to believe. And I don't know why people have this obsession with forcing humans to be in these, like, specific over-the-top boxes. But we are not all the same all the time. We do have different feelings and we do adapt. And that is perfectly normal. Shh, get away from me. Sick of you, Lucia. Goodbye. I'm very proud of that Lucia kill. Not so proud of what just happened there though. Oh yay! Thanks, Rob. Well, that's not great.
I won't get ready for a shock.
Uh-oh. They ate my sleep dart. No. That is very rude.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
I made a mistake. I don't know where I am. Oh no! I was right in that!
You'll have to try harder than that.
This diva loves me. She just would not leave me alone the whole game. Anyways. I didn't even play. Yeah, I invited Rob into my game, and the matchmaking has been mildly better since he joined, but some of it's still not great. Aerossexual, that's the one, Bruce. Thank you so much for sharing that. As Barbie once said, you could be anything. Unless you want to be the president of the US, because that's apparently really difficult. Well, actually, with that said, is it that difficult? Depends on who you are, I guess. I don't label myself, and I don't feel like I have to. It's so fluid. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and whoever I'm attracted to. Yeah, I think that's a good way to live for some people. You know, not everybody's like that. Some people do want to be. Some people do want to have labels, and that's okay. But you know, if you prefer to go down the route of being like, you know. Sorry, 1 second. If you happen to go down the route of choosing not to label yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people that works really well. Maybe I'll try being a reset. If the games are going to be terrible, I might as well try somebody I don't know how to play and start learning new people. B, what do you mean you can easily be the president of the United States? I think the requirement to be the president is that you have to have been born in the country. I'm British, so I couldn't. No problem, I'm a skin, no problem.
Never to wield a blade again.
Bye, Architect. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Ow. The new roleplay that we're working on at the moment, I don't know if I've told you guys already, that we're working on in our Roblox Boxbag roleplay is both a multicultural family and also an LGBTQ plus family. So I'm really excited to make that. I don't see a lot of those in like the Roblox community. Most people choose to go with like non-LGBTQ plus or non-mixed race families or multicultural families. I think it's going to be nice to do something different. I like Arisa. I wish I was better at Arisa. Who is behind us? Oh god. Ugh. Hi. No, I died from the infection! The virus thing is what I meant.
They will not break me.
Payload's under my control.
He would make a great president. I don't know about that. I like politics, but I'm not educated in politics. Like, I don't have a degree in politics. Then again, most of the people who do a terrible job at being politicians. Hi. Hello. I can't see what I'm doing. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh, I just got hacked, I'm dead. Be a natural born citizen of the United States. Be at least 35 years old and have been a resident of the United States for 14 years. What is going on back here? I have my ult, but I don't know when to use it. Yeah, the Sombra's dead. I don't know how to use her ult. As you can see, I just clenched my butt cheeks so hard and did nothing.
Enemy turret is
Keep an eye out.
They switched to Bastion. I'm trying to ping the Bastion. Why does it keep pinging the Winston instead?
Forged in the dragon's breath.
There he is. I do not know how this ult works.
Let vengeance consume you.
They called me Tank Diff and said, yeah, stupid tank. Okay, sorry. Maybe I'm good at Orisa, guys. And I just didn't know. Yeah, the game's chaotic in a good way. I like the chaos of Overwatch personally. I think I do enjoy the game. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Take a risk and use the platform to go up and drop down and hit them with the ult. Yeah, that's the only thing with a reset. I don't get how her ult works. Are you adding people? What do you mean, Leah? Yeah, giveaways have been drawn for today. Is there anything else, guys, as we come to the last half an hour of the stream, that any of you would like to ask? Any stories you'd like to share? Any advice you'd like to ask me for? Like, anything like that? I can do my best. Even if we're not streaming Minecraft tonight, I low-key might like... Because you guys voted to do it tomorrow. I might still record some later, maybe. I think we've got a plan to do... We're planning on doing, like, a special thing, Luna. I think what we're planning on doing is maybe doing some custom games on Overwatch soon. Not Luna, sorry, it was who was it who asked? Leah, sorry. We're planning on doing some custom games that you guys can join on some streams in the future. Maybe in the next couple of weeks I'll do a stream where you guys can join in Overwatch 2. Because I don't really want to have to add people as friends, and I know that you can join with like a game code if we do some custom ones. The only problem is I need to find custom games that aren't going to make me mad when I play against people. So but maybe we'll try something like the you versus you, because it's not really against a person. It sort of is, but not at the same time, because you're against sort of like yourself, so I'm less likely to get salty. Thanks, Angel. I have debated going back blonde, but I'm holding off for a while because my hairstylist pointed out that blonde dyes and bleaches obviously are way worse for your hair than even ginger ones are. And I just don't want to damage my hair anymore right now until like this whole like hair falling out issue has an illness that I've been experiencing is resolved. Really need healing. Do you get healing for staying near the bot like you do with the payload? Oh, where are the healing stations on this map? I am on like 12 health. Where are the healing pads? Yikes. Yeah, so I always just think if I want to be blonde today, wig. This is my favorite wig, so... No! No! Double noob! You should go back to your natural hair color. My hair is my natural hair color right now. It's a real realistic wig. Is it a synthetic one or a human hair? This is a synthetic wig, which is why it's my favorite wig. Because despite being synthetic, this one's brand new, which is like a little bit shiny. Because I had this exact wig before, but I lost it. So I bought the exact same one again. Because it's the only synthetic wig I've ever owned that has looked like this realistic. We are just feeding him his ult right now. Ugh, stupid Life Weaver. Oh no. Both of my healers are slow type healers. So it's going well. If there's any... I'm chill with Brigitte's passive healing, but I wish Zenny... I just hate Zenny healers. I just think their healing is just not great. He's good when you need basically another DPS. Nope. Bye. Oh, I'm so low. Cool.
I finish my projects.
Every time I see my team in Moira and Zen, I'm just like, we're so dead. Yeah, just 2 DPS healers. Ready to get your team wrecked.
Placing a turret here.
Exercise is good for your joints.
Aligning sentry positions.
Cool. We just keep getting ruined as soon as we get up to that like specific point.
Chaos will not be unseated. Group up. I have opened the bar. Sentry in position. Yahi karam vastavika hai.
Returning TS1 to the barricade.
Oh. Thank you. Oh. Okay. Oh god. I would beam them, but as soon as I get my beam up, I just get killed immediately. Literally, as soon as I power my beam up, I just die immediately. I can't stay alive with a Zenny healer. There's just not enough healing. And I don't want to keep doing this for the next 2 minutes and 25 seconds, because every time they kill us, they get a little bit. They're gonna end up getting a little bit further ahead eventually. Eventually, they're gonna do it so well that they are gonna get ahead. Are you kidding? He's a one tap. Oh, he's still alive.
A second chance. Raksha Pranali Sandhit Karni. Watch there. Forward square. Yahi param vastavikta hai.
Literally every time. I just hope that we get another team kill like that, and the game just ends, because this is just like driving me crazy every time in the same place.
Finish my
I don't know if it's like we're just getting too cocky or something right at that last point and then getting choked.
Constructing my teleporter. Sentry in position.
Ah. Oh no. Oh, we might actually. They may actually get the better of
I
us.
still have a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
New revelation.
They broke his tire, so that's not good.
Behold my creation. Distributing turrets. Yahi param vastavikta hai.
Time for the reckoning.
Oh my god, she just won't die. Thank God. Okay. There we go. We're on our last 20 minutes of the stream, guys. So if you wanted to ask any final questions or share any final things, now is your chance. I'm actually, to be fair, them switching to Junker Queen was a good call, because they really did pull it off a lot better once they switched. Would you be interested in me doing a drawing of you every time I join your stream, or would that get repetitive? You can draw as many times as you want, Lola. We love fan art. It's always so sweet. Bye, Ashira. Thank you so much for coming. But would you be interested in me doing a drawing of you? Oh, sorry. Same message. My bad. I remember I saw a TikTok or Twitter a while ago of someone, I don't remember, but basically some trans people were saying how non-binary people aren't trans, that trans shouldn't be an umbrella term. What's your opinion on that? I don't think that trans being an umbrella term or not changes anything about my life. So I don't understand why people, like, I sometimes feel like people get a little bit caught up in things that don't matter. What does matter is dealing with anti-trans legislation that is affecting all of us, regardless of how you are trans, non-binary or not, or regardless of, you know, any of these specifics. What we should be talking about and what we should be fighting is people trying to put limitations against us every single day that negatively impact our lives. That's important. I don't think that I feel that it's as important to focus on things like that, personally.
I will not leave a broken world behind.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The archer
Okay, so Red, I'm looking forward to it. When will the next it gets better stream be? I believe that my streams are always on the 20th of every month.
The archer vanished into the darkness.
Advice for a crossdresser that is questioning. So questioning like that you might be potentially trans, you mean, for example? Personally, if it was me in that position, except tonight, yeah, except tonight. Today's the 19th because I have something else tomorrow. Personally, I think if I was questioning, I would argue that it would be a good idea. Continue with your cross-dressing, continue exploring, continue experimenting. Maybe you could try, if you haven't already, adding some things in that you might want to just test out and see. For example, using a different name while cross-dressing, using different pronouns. I don't know if you already do, of course. I don't know you personally. But I would say maybe you could experiment a little bit further with some other bits and bobs. Maybe share that with some people that you know, that you're questioning, some people you trust, and ask them to use that name and pronouns whilst you are cross-dressing, for example. Sort of exploration, I think, is kind of the main thing when you're questioning. Just figuring out who you are and what you feel and stuff. And remember that you don't have to pressure yourself to figure this out really fast either. You can take as much time as you need to take to figure out who you are and what you're feeling and what your identity is and what labels are appropriate for you. If you want to use labels, you may not. Oops. You may not, and that's fine. But I would say to continue experimenting and just see how that goes. See what you end up figuring out for yourself. I think that for me personally, as a trans person, I figured out what I was feeling, but not how to describe what I was feeling fairly quickly. But everything is individual, so some people don't do so quickly. You know, it can take time, and that's okay. Get out of here. Oops. Well, I guess Rob's powered up. And now dead. Sorry, Rob, kind of threw you in the deep end there. Hot. Hot, hot. You guys all just walking on the lava, huh? I only asked because I'm curious on that topic, and since I'm non-binary, I don't want to use the trans flag if being non-binary doesn't count as being trans. Could potentially offend people. I think it's kind of you to want to make sure that you aren't going to hurt anyone's feelings, but I also think it's one of those things where, like, non-binary people have been using both non-binary flags and trans flags and also individual flags for what they're experiencing for a long time, and you should be allowed to represent yourself in whatever way makes you feel comfortable. With whatever words and whatever labels that you choose make you feel comfortable. In my opinion. We are getting destroyed. Real bad. Really, really bad. Oh, I'm healing Bob. What am I doing? Oh, jeez. What is going on? Where are you going, Diva? I've got healing.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Ow. Thank goodness. That Hanzo's really good. It's kind of stressing me out.
I won't give in.
Torbjorn, ready to burn. They outnumber us.
Rip. Well, I think it's safe to assume we've lost this. I didn't really know what to do, so I was just like, I'm just gonna get on the point. Distract them off my team a little bit. Never say never. Wait, what did I say? That we're not gonna win this? I mean, yeah, never say never, I guess, but I'm shocked my team's alive as long as they are right now, but I think there's Moira ulting, Hanzo's still alive. Now the Ramatra's ulting. I'm not there to heal them yet. Bastion's backed off the point. He's like, yep, whatever. Okay. Okay. That's enough Overwatch for me. Let's get ready to close our closing thoughts for the stream. Okay. Okay, guys, we can say never now. Huh? Yeah, I guess you can. So, guys, yeah, I believe every single 20th is when my It Gets Better streams will be this year. I'm really looking forward to getting to experience more with you guys and just generally chat about all sorts of cool stuff and get to just chill with you guys on this channel again. I really enjoyed doing it in 2023. So I'm really excited to do it again for 2024. I honestly feel like I would vibe with you guys here on this channel forever if I could. I love streaming with you guys here and chatting to you about your experiences and your opinions and your thoughts and your answering your questions and stuff. So thank you so much for joining me and having a nice time and chilling with me and participating. Hey Siri, close the blinds. Just realised my blinds are still open. It's relaxing even when we're being whooped in Overwatch. It is, yeah. For sure. I can't remember what game I wrote down that I wanted to play in the next one. But we'll see when we get there, I guess. I'm looking forward to just spending time with you guys and chatting to you. Because, honestly, sometimes when you're LGBTQ+, but you're surrounded by people who aren't. Like, I have friends who are, but at least where I live and where I am currently, my family aren't. So it's sometimes nice to just get to spend some time with people who experience similar things, have similar thoughts and feelings, and, you know what's up, I guess. The stream has been fab. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you had fun. I play Brawl High while having you in the background. It's such a vibe. Thank you. I just wanted to thank you for this stream. It made me feel so comforted. Well, thank you, Autistic Angel. I'm really glad to hear that. That's the whole point. The whole idea is to help people feel comfortable, represented. So I'm glad. It makes me happy to hear that. So yeah, I'll be back, you guys, because we're doing a Kahoot night on my Discord server after this, for anyone who doesn't know, should anybody want to join in. And then I'll be back to streaming on my own channel tomorrow from 10 AM Eastern time, and I am going to be live with you guys. There is a 2-hour split in the middle where we're going to switch to YouTube, then come back to Twitch, but I'm going to be live with you guys tomorrow from 10 AM Eastern until 6 PM Eastern, and then we have the meet and greet after that for an hour or two. So basically, from 10 AM Eastern until 7 PM Eastern, I'll be with you guys tomorrow. So, also bye to Webby too. People are saying bye to you if you can hear me. I don't know if he's got his head, but he's waving at you guys. So that is from 3 PM UK time until midnight. I'll be with you guys all day tomorrow. So if you want to spend your day with me, come by. Come chill. Look forward to being with you guys and enjoying ourselves and just vibing and doing our thing. It'd be nice to see you all. Hope you get a good rest out tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I'm going out to my grandma's house for dinner on Sunday, and then on Sunday night, we have the movie night on my Discord server, and then I'll probably just be laying in bed and watching YouTube because Patrick has D&D after that. So I'll probably just lay and watch YouTube in bed for Sunday, and then Monday, I don't think I have anything specific planned. And then Tuesday, I have a couple of appointments, and then back to streaming again. So, because obviously we're streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at the moment. So yeah. Yeah, I hope you all have a lovely day. I go back to college on Sunday, and the term starts Tuesdays. I probably won't be as active anymore, but I'll try to tune. No problem, jx.com. How you have to go to college on a Sunday? Ew. Yuck. Is that optional? Like, are you choosing to go to get a head start? I guess that makes sense. Good night to you too, Cuddly. Or anybody who's coming over for Kahoot, I'll see you there. College. Oh, you mean like American college, right? Like you're moving into the dorm on Sunday. I see. Like university is what you mean. Is what you're talking about. When you say college, I assumed you meant like, I just default to British college, which is when you're 16. So you don't live there. Because we finish high school at 16. And then go to what we call college after that. Gotta go grab another cup of tea before the Kahoot. Go ahead, no problem. I'll use the bathroom in between anyway. I'll join in there probably and start getting ready. I don't know what to do though. I don't know, because I feel like I'm going to have to share my screen for the Kahoot. I don't know if I should limit it to 300 people only, because like 500 people have RSVP'd. But we can't share screen if more than 300 people join. So I don't know if I should limit it or not. But I think that call said that I don't necessarily have to share screen. You guys can see it on your own link because we're using Gimbit instead of Kahoot. So I think that you guys can see it. If you guys could want to do me a favor, by the way, go leave a little reaction on the latest post if you haven't already on my Discord server announcement that just came out. Alrighty. Any final thoughts anybody wants to share before we finish off? I wanted to check. Thank you again, sorry for this. You made me feel so calm and comforted. Autistic Angel, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, and I hope that my streams throughout this year on this channel can be a place that make you and everybody else feel comfortable, happy, accepted, and loved. You guys are all so lovely. Yeah, so you guys are going to be able to spend like the whole day with me tomorrow if you want to. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Thank you so very much for coming. I appreciate you guys. You are also lovely and wonderful. And I'm so excited to see you all there tomorrow and vibe with you all and just have a lovely day. So yeah. I'm just reading through your messages. That's so sweet, Jake. Stockholm. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say. Okay, guys. So, we're going to finish off. Go get started with our little Kahoot night. And yeah, I love you all lots. I'll see you on the 20th on this channel next. I will see you tomorrow on my channel, and I hope you all have a lovely day. I love you all lots. Thank you for coming and vibing. See you all soon. Love to you all. And if you have questions or anything else you want to ask me in the next stream, save them for the 20th. Feel free to come and ask. Bye, everybody. Love you lots. Bye. I'll see you all on my Discord in a minute and then on stream again tomorrow.